Well, Hoosier parents, many of them in the Fort Wayne area, will soon be part of a study looking at phone habits and how they could be impacting their babies. Researchers at the Parkview Mirro Center for Research and Innovation in Fort Wayne are leading the study. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta has more. Kylie.
Thanks, Gary. The study is also an important milestone for Parkview. The research is supported by a grant from the National Institutes of Health, and it marks the first time the Fort Wayne Health System has earned an NIH grant. Dr. Brandon McDaniel is a research scientist on Mirro's Health Services and Informatics research team, and he joins me now to tell us more about the study. Thanks for being on the show today, Brandon, and congratulations on the grant.
Thank you. So glad to be here with you. We're very excited for this.
All right. Well, I think one thing we should talk about right off the top here is that you say with this study, you're not trying to throw parents under the bus, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because we're all in this together. We live in the age now where there's so much technology around us all the time, and we're all on our smartphones, and it's just the way it is. So we're not trying to sit here and say, oh, everything you're doing is bad. We already all have that guilt. We're trying to understand the potential good, some of the pitfalls, and work to make things better.
Okay, so a good introduction to your study right there. So give us an overview of what the study is about. What are you looking at?
So we're trying to understand parents' phone use, their smartphone habits, digital habits, the ways in which they're using their technology on a daily basis. Really, ultimately, we're trying to understand those things because, again, there's some pitfalls. There's ways in which it might start to get in the way of some of our interactions that we have with others or some of the time we spend with our children. But there's also ways it can support us and help us in our parenting and connect us with others. And we want to figure out what that means for parents. And there's probably some ways that it's influencing them and their mental health in good ways, and some ways it's not. And we want to try to really understand that, figure out what that's doing, and be able to implement something around that to help people.
Okay, and so this study is really focused on babies, about newborn to 6 months range. Give us an idea of what a good, healthy interaction looks like and how cell phones can sort of interrupt that.
Yeah, so when we're talking about infants, it's all about eye contact and joint attention, taking the time to really notice and understand the infant's needs. So if you're sitting there on the couch with your infant, being able to notice that they're looking at you, that they want some of your attention. And the problem with if we're on our devices a lot is we might miss that eye contact completely. We might not notice that they have a need at that particular time, or maybe we're doing something on the device, we notice they have the need, but we delay our response to them. And if that's happening a lot, then that's when I start to worry about it a little bit, because that could influence how the infant feels about that relationship, the type of a bond that they form with their parent. If it's just every once in a while, again, we're not trying to make parents feel super guilty here. It's every once in a while, that's probably not a problem. But if it becomes a really big trend, then that's what we worry about.
Okay, such an interesting topic. Can you explain how are you going to go about studying that? What are you going to do?
So we're coming at this with a multi-pronged sort of approach. We've got surveys, online surveys we're going to have parents do, where we're getting at more of what they think their technology habits look like, how they are feeling, what their mental health is like, those sorts of things. But then we also are going to be installing an app on parents' phone, so we can get at what their phone use actually looks like in real time across 8 days, and also have them complete some nightly online surveys on those same 8 days, so they can tell us, when they were with their infant that day, what it was like when they were feeding, all these, what their sleep habits were like, so we can start to connect their phone use in real time with what their habits are like in real life, and get a better understanding of what their phone use is, how it's linking up with what's going on in their life. Ultimately, after that, too, we'll have some interviews and other surveys we're doing so we can better understand why they might be doing certain things, what that means for them, how it's supporting them, whether it's getting in the way of things, whether it makes them feel guilty or not, all those other pieces, so we can have a really good understanding of what it means to them, too, not just that it's might look like it's connected.
And the big end goal here is to develop programming to help parents. Can you talk just a little bit about that?
Yeah, so right now we don't know exactly what that'll look like, but all of this all the information we're trying to glean and understand from this, we're going to take that, synthesize that together so that hopefully we can have figured out what was good about it, what are some of the potential pitfalls, and what are some of the ways that parents find that are actually amenable, good ways that could actually help them in what's happening in their life and with their phone use. And because really we just want to help people to develop what we call healthy digital habits. Because they're here to stay. The smartphone's here to stay. All of our use of this is here, and in a lot of ways it helps us. But we want to avoid those pitfalls of the ways in which it might take us away from our infant and build on those ways in which it's supporting us and our parenting and our mental health. So what we're hoping in the end to have enough information to design some programming that'll help people to know what to avoid, what to do, how to do it, so they can build healthy, strong relationships.
All right, Dr. McDaniel, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.